Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this May the 25th, 2026. I'm hoping everybody had a great Monday out there so far, but it's a great Monday evening. I hope everybody can stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather. That's the only weather you got. Okay, in tonight's video, we're going to be taking a look at the storm system moving across the country. Also take a look at the tropics as well while we're on this first satellite imagery. This is your tropical outlook as well. Also take a look at the local forecast for your Tuesday and Wednesday, the current watches warning advisory map currently across the nation. Also take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for day number 2 and 3, and also take a look at the weather radar as well. So sorry about that, I had to get rid of one. Had an extra icon up there, but anyway, like I said, I hope everybody enjoys these weather updates. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. Like these videos, share these videos, and let's continue to get the show on the road there, folks. Alright, as you can see, we got a storm system here down across the Gulf. You can see it's starting to blow up a little bit down here. Something we'll keep an eye on here and see if anything develops down in the Gulf. Could be something tropical maybe coming up in the next few days here in the Gulf. Could have our first named tropical cyclone. Arthur could be forming down in the Gulf and could be riding up the East Coast. It's either going to develop possibly in the Gulf or either off the southeast coast, but that's something we'll keep an eye on as well. So stay with me and I'll keep you up to date as the week progresses forward. Alright, we got scattered activity across South America, Central America, Cuba, Bahamas, also down across Florida, and also across Haiti, Dominican Republic, a little bit toward Puerto Rico, Jamaica. You get some activity as well. Also down across South America, Central America, and then from the Central American coast back to Hawaii and Chain Island. Then more activity across Mexico, stretching into the western U.S. from areas of New Mexico up to Montana, also toward Washington State. The storm system moving into that region as well. And you can see activity stretching from Georgia to Carolinas, all the way up into Michigan, up to Ottawa and Toronto, Canada, stretching far east as New Brunswick and Newfoundland. A little bit of activity in the Atlantic. Right now the Caribbean is pretty quiet at this time, but you can see a little bit of flare up trying to get going around the islands. But this is my main concern right now in the tropic, because the water is pretty warm down there. If the wind shear can relax, we could have our first tropical cyclone before the end of May or the 1st of June. So I will keep you up to date as we roll forward. Alright, let's move on into your local forecast and we'll take a look at it. And here is your Tuesday forecast. Rolls out just like this. Alright, we got shower activity and mixed precipitation in Washington, Oregon, and we got more mixed precipitation in Idaho, Nevada, California, a little bit in Colorado. Got some flash flooding and heavy rain across Texas. Severe weather there as well in the yellow slashed area. Then we got severe thunderstorms. More flash flooding and heavy rain, over here in southeast Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, portion of Georgia. Then we got thunderstorms and showers over here in Oregon, California, to Idaho, to Montana, Nevada, to Utah, to Arizona, to Mexico. Also down to Texas, Northern Gulf, to Florida, Florida Keys, Georgia, to Carolinas, to Pennsylvania, D.C., Delaware, West Virginia, Ohio, to Illinois. Then again across the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, also toward Lake Superior, northern Michigan. Then again over across New Brunswick, Maine, northern New Hampshire, Vermont, and southeast Canada as well. Otherwise, expect your high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Tuesday. Alright. Let's move on into your Wednesday forecast now. It should roll out something like this here across the board. And as you can see, we have low pressures and high pressure systems across the area, warm fronts and cold fronts as well. So, alright, should be loading up here. There we go. We've got a little bit of shower activity in northern Maine over New Brunswick. Thunderstorms and showers in portion of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. More thunderstorms and showers from Idaho to Montana to Wyoming to Colorado to Nebraska to Kansas to Texas, the northern Gulf, all the way down toward the Florida Keys, Atlantic coastal waters, North and South Carolina to Delaware, D.C., to Ohio to Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and surrounding states as well. Alright, we got flash flooding and heavy rain over Texas, portion of Arkansas and Louisiana, mixed precipitation in Idaho, Nevada, California, and Oregon, shower activity in portion of Oregon and Washington State. Otherwise, expect your high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Wednesday. Alright, let's move on into your current watches warning advisory map currently across the nation. Should roll out like this here across the board. Alright, We got special weather statements up here in Maine and New Hampshire, also again in Minnesota and also North Dakota. Also, we got some red flag warnings and heat advisories in Montana. More special weather statements also in portions of Colorado and Utah. Wind advisories over here in areas of Utah, Nevada, Central and Southern California. Red flag warning is also in effect for you guys in Nevada. Also into areas of Oregon, Northern California. We have a high wind warning there in areas of southwestern Oregon State, and also we got some high wind warnings over here in areas of Idaho. Wind advisories in southern Washington State, northern Oregon. That flood advisory still continue for you guys there in one county there in Washington State. Some river flood warnings still continue for Ohio to Indiana to portions of Mississippi. We have one flood warning here in portions of New Mexico. Flood advisories and flash flood warnings over Texas. More flash flood watches and warnings and flood watches, warnings, advisories also in effect for Louisiana, southern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, eastern Tennessee. Flash flood warnings in the red here in portions of southern Mississippi, northeast Alabama, one over here in Georgia. We have a flood advisory, special weather statements across South Carolina. We have more flash flood warnings and flood advisory across Virginia as well. We got a special marine warning off the Panhandle area of Florida. Alright, dense fog advisories up here along the mid-Atlantic coast. More craft advisories up here from Maine down toward New York City. And then again from southern Florida toward the Florida Keys, southern California to Washington State, around the Hawaiian Chain Island, around the Alaska region. We have some high wind warnings and flood watches in effect for the Alaska region as well. Alright, moving on to the severe weather perspective of the video. Severe thunderstorm probabilities and outlooks for your Tuesday. Alright, we have a marginal slight risk across portions of New Mexico and Texas. Marginal risk up here across Minnesota to areas of Wisconsin. Then again across portions of Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. Then you can see general thunderstorms over here in portions of Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Idaho to Texas, to Florida, to the Carolinas, up to Virginia, all the way up toward northern Maine, and also over towards areas of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and also over toward Bismarck, North Dakota. Alright, let's roll on into the tornado probability for your Tuesday. We have a 5 and 15% risk area. This is where EF2 or a 3 tornado can occur across Texas and also maybe New Mexico as well. Damaging winds 5 and 15 across Texas, 5% up here across Montana, Idaho, and then Wisconsin over toward Minnesota as well, 5% there. But down across Texas, that's where the significant tornado damaging winds up to 70-80 miles an hour. Also some golf ball to baseball not held across Texas. Elsewhere across the areas of Wisconsin into Minnesota, Montana, portions of Idaho, and Wyoming, about 5%. That would be about quarter size hail expected, or maybe half dollar size hail expected. Alright, let's roll on into day number 3. Should roll out something like this here across the board. Alright, we have a marginal risk over here across portions of North Carolina from Raleigh to Roanoke to Virginia Beach. Richmond, Virginia, just east of Roanoke, excuse me. And then you see general thunderstorms elsewhere from Washington State to California to Montana to Texas, up toward areas of Minnesota, Wisconsin, also areas of New York City, Scranton, Pennsylvania, down toward Miami, Florida, Florida Keys. The probability rolls out about 5%. There we go. Alright, now let's take a look at the current radar across the nation as well. And this is what it looks like across the board. It's filling in here. We just got to wait for it to fill in, and you'll see where the precipitation is falling, and here we go. Alright, we got activity here in Montana, Idaho. You can see Washington, Oregon State, from Seattle, Washington to Northwest California to Idaho to Montana, Denver, Colorado. Scattered activity around you guys, a little bit in portions of Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, just south of Dallas to Houston. Also a little bit of activity there across Louisiana, Arkansas, and then across the Gulf, stretching into Mississippi, towards Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, stretching up towards the Charlotte area, also up toward Asheville, North Carolina, Knoxville and Chattanooga, Tennessee, over to areas of Virginia, around Roanoke and Richmond, Virginia, and over toward Virginia Beach. And then you can see up here around Newfoundland, Nova Scotia area, also southeast Canada. You can see we got a line of thunderstorms moving across South Canada toward Lake Superior. Anybody on the Lake Superior, before that line of thunderstorm gets to you, could be some severe weather. Seek shelter away from windows and doors during a thunderstorm, because thunderstorms can strike about 10 to 15 miles from the parent thunderstorm, and never be out on open waters of the area lakes. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. Like the video, share the video. We'll catch you back in the next one. So have a wonderful Monday evening, folks. Take care and also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got.